Welcome to the Songwriter Connection, the podcast that delves deep into the art and heart of songwriting. Each week, we gather around the dining room table to uncover the stories behind the songs. We invite you to join us on a journey to the creative minds of the songwriters who shape the melodies of our lives. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
Well, here we are, 1 month into the new year and winter. So here, smack in the middle of winter, I thought we'd warm things up with a little tropical flair today. We've got one of the top Trop Rock guys right now with us. Jeff Dayton is back. Jeff, good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Dave. I'm back for my second time. You think you'd have learned the first time. But...
Never. I couldn't wait to get you back. Let me just tell folks a little bit about you.
Yeah.
You came up from Minneapolis, Minnesota. You've been in bands, and eventually you worked up to bandleader for Glen Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there was Lee Greenwood and even Kenny Chesney you toured and played with. Songwriter, which you could still consider yourself a songwriter more than anything, right?
I think that's always part of our blood. When you're a songwriter, no matter what you're doing, you're still a songwriter.
Once a songwriter, always a songwriter.
Yeah.
That's right. And you've had cuts with George Strait and lots of others, right?
I have. I've been really fortunate. You know, I've had stuff on Hawaii Five-0 and The Voice and
sync stuff.
Placements, you know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about that is, you know, when you're a songwriter, you can't leave your work at work. I mean, you go home and you're not thinking about designing the new bridge that's going in. You know, your songs are in bed with you at night.
I've
had to get up from a perfectly good nap to write down a really stupid idea.
So I can't tell you how many times.
Yeah.
You know you're a songwriter when that happens, right?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
I'll never forget the day that the switch flipped in my mind and I went to an event as a guy who wrote some songs, and I left the event as a songwriter.
As a songwriter.
And that was the Arizona Songwriters Association, 1981, and they had an incredible symposium that day. And it was Jay Graydon, David Foster, Bill Champlin, Maggie Cavender, Randy Goodrum, and a whole slew of people that were all there. And it was right there accessible to us at 3rd Street in Portland, in Phoenix. And it was like even in the kitchen when we're supposed to be having a break, you know, I'm watching East Meets West with Graydon and Randy Goodrum going at it and talking about the number system. So, once you've accepted that in your life, then there's really no hope for you.
That's it. No turning back.
Yeah.
But you perform all over. I mean, you were just recently in Key West, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all down in Florida. You've got a bunch of other projects. There's the Garfunkel, Manilow, Campbell trio. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
You've got a new album that just came out in December.
Yes.
And I want to hit on that, play some of the songs and maybe get you to play some live. And you've got a new podcast, which I had the pleasure of being on. Join the club, my friend.
Oh, man. Thank you, Dave. You know, you're the reason I'm doing this because I came out to your house. And by the way, people, we really are sitting around the dining room table. That's truly what this is. Mm-hmm. So it's not just some kind of a mythical thing, you know. It's truly the dining room table. You can hear the wonderful. Dave's got a great house. He and his wife Patty live out here in an undisclosed area. But
we've got that natural verb in this room, don't we?
Yeah, definitely got that in what sounds like the interrogation room at the police station.
We have ways of making you talk.
That's right. Luckily, I don't have to remember that. But yeah, you know, it's the podcast thing that you brought me out here to do was about a year and a half ago, I think. Yeah. And if I remember right, I was episode like in the 150s or so. I think you had just done.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was like, podcast. And I remember saying to you that day, oh, what's this thing you got over there? And I looked at your machine with all those groovy buttons. And it sort of steeped like a tea bag is the way I put it. You know, it sat in my mind. And I was in Minnesota and talking to an old friend, David Sandler, who was an understudy of Brian Wilson in the Beach Boys, and he produced and wrote with Brian and with Bruce Johnson, you know, the guy who replaced Glen Campbell in the Beach Boys.
Okay.
And we were just sitting at his house in Minneapolis, and I thought, I'm going to whip out my phone, and because Dave's, you know, health is not terrific. Anything could happen any day. So I just grabbed my phone and said, Dave, we're going to talk about your days in Los Angeles with the Beach Boys and how'd you get started. And I did my first interview just with the phone. And I got home and I thought, well, I've done it. I've started a podcast. And so I think that Sunday night I went online and I ordered the Rodecaster, same machine you got.
Love
and
it.
I still think it's a great machine.
I do too.
Yeah, I took it to Key West, and I'm sitting there talking to Buddy Cannon and Marla Cannon, and great interviews with Mark Sherrill and people like that. Come on over to the table here. Just talk to me for a few minutes.
I love it.
So
yes.
yeah, it's portable, and just send the checks to the address you have on file for me, Road. I appreciate that.
Tell us the name of your podcast.
It is called Count It Off.
Count It Off.
Count It Off, your fresh new window into the world of music. I don't have as long of an intro, but I do have a wonderful female voice, Marcia Ramirez. I call her Magic Marcia.
Magic Marcia.
Yeah, and she's got a terrific intro that she did for me over some of the tracks that I do. And once I got going on it, I tell you what, it was so much fun. It kind of fit the Jones that I had to be a radio guy. Yeah. And you know how it is.
You have a great voice. You
do too, but I found out you're a radio guy.
Yeah. 40-some years.
Yeah. So, and I've just had the want to for 40-some years.
Yeah.
But I love going on radio stations and talking. And I like the way it sounds afterwards. And people have said, well, Jeff, you ought to do that.
And you are. Yeah.
You've heard a few of the episodes.
I have. Yeah. You've had some big guests. Talk about some of the recent...
Well, you start out with what you got, and I called some friends that said, well, maybe.
I know how it is. I get that a lot.
And one of those guys is still kind of like, maybe.
Maybe.
But you learn as you go. And my gear has improved a little bit, and I use a software, a DAW, to do a little editing and stuff like that, so I can take out the ums and that's just the human part of us. But I think it's good to have a nice tight ship, and I like to play the music of my guests and integrate that with the interviews. So as you're going to do here in a minute, I think,
yes, I am.
We'll get to hear some of the music of the guest and. It's rewarding to get to know people. And my mom was an interviewer of sorts. I mean, she wasn't an interviewer technically, but that was her personality. Yeah. And she'd gotten on an airplane and she'd get home and she'd call me and say, I had the most wonderful seat partner on the plane today. And she'd tell me all about some person that they met and she had met and where they worked and where they were from, the families that they knew, and so I guess it rubbed off on me a little bit.
How about that?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Your mother was musical too, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she played the piano and sang. And she taught me a lot of my first songs. I mean, I think we might have talked about it that last time about how I learned ear training from following my mom.
Really?
And, Mom would sing a song, just sing the melody. Yeah. And, as I was walking down the street, a little bit, and she'd say, play the chords with that. And I said, I don't know what they are. She said, well, fool around till you find one. Mm-hmm. And so I would do, As I was walking down the street, a little billboard met my eye. No, not that one. A little billboard met my eye. No, not that one. A little billboard met my eye. That one.
There you go.
The advertisements listed there would make you laugh and cry. No, not that one. Make you laugh and cry. And so that's...
training your ear, yeah.
Exactly. And that's how I learned a lot of those old songs. And gratefully for me, the night before Mom passed, I didn't know that was going to happen, but... I thought God said, he sent me a note. He said, Jeff, go stop in at your mom's at the nursing home and sing her all the songs she taught you. Oh. And I did.
Wow.
It was really, it was a spiritual thing. And I'm glad that I had that opportunity because, you get to thank the ones that
you do.
Inspire you, raise you.
You do. I lost my mom coming up on a year ago.
Oh, and, Dave, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And she had Alzheimer's and cancer. Cancer's finally what got her. But she loved to sing. She could sing. And I remember the last Christmas last year when we went up there, I got out my guitar and we were just singing Christmas carols and how she would remember the words and knew the words and could sing, And we got about everyone out and she was just having a good time. And for some reason, I just had seen the Jaws movie with some friends of mine again for about the 50th time. The scene at the bottom of the boat, when they're talking about their scars and everything. And then all of a sudden they're drinking and all of a sudden they start singing, show me the way to go home. Tired and I want to go to bed. For some reason, I just started singing that. Well, my mom lit up and she starts singing it along with us. And I had to look up some of the words and we just sang it out and had a wonderful time. The next morning, Jeff, as she got up for breakfast, pouring coffee, she sits down and she looks around and she goes, show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
Isn't that something?
And as she's singing, I'm thinking, I got to bring up my phone and just record that. And I thought, no, just enjoy the moment. And I will never forget that as long as I live.
Yeah, the memory's alive.
The memory's alive.
Yeah, it may not be digitally, retrievable, but it's definitely in your heart.
There. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah.
You've got a new record out.
And
it's what, number 18 for you?
Yeah, let me tell you about that. Because, I know you're looking at me, folks, and you're thinking 18 records and nobody's heard of me.
Yeah, and he's only 20 years old, so I mean,
Oh, that's been a real feat. Let me tell you something. Thank you. But, I had a bunch of publishing deals starting with Rensong, believe it or not, way back.
Rensong?
Yeah, Rensong's over there on 17th Avenue. And I think the house is still there, but it was back when the houses were houses here on Music Row.
Okay,
and,
back before the...
Yeah, and there was a gal living upstairs in the apartment because they didn't need the whole house at the time, so they were renting to a singer named Kathy Mattea.
Oh, well, yeah.
And John Vesner, her husband now, was one of the writers at Rensong with me. And he and Kathy used to go to lunch and talk about how they were never getting in another relationship because they had such terrible ones before, and then, of course, they ended up getting married.
Yep.
But,
and she's finally a member of the Grand Ole Opry, right?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's great. She's a sweetheart, and we have family ties. Her grandfather, Giuseppe Mattea, right off the boat from Italy,
kidding. Wow.
worked in Morgantown. They were from Morgantown, West Virginia, and he worked at the Morgantown Glass Works, which my grandfather, Dave Courtney, owned that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Dave and Joe Courtney were twins, and they both owned the Morgantown Glass Works, and that's where Kathy's grandfather worked.
Oh, he did.
Long time ago. But anyway, you get a lot of publishing deals and stuff like that, and you're hoping that you're going to make it. Maybe somebody will like you as an artist. Mm-hmm. But a bunch of time goes by, and pretty soon, publishing deals are so rare, and I'm sure all your guests would back that up. If you aren't self-publishing, you're really missing out.
Yeah.
And about 2010, I just got off my deal with Black River. And Sarah Darling and I were the first two signees at Black River.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah, and that's where Kelsey Ballerini's been for quite a while.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I had a bunch of songs, and I love putting out records, so I did a record there, and I started doing them at home on my little setups, Been using Logic before that. I was in Cakewalk. And doing the best I could and doing a little better than I could last time and trying to up the game both in terms of lyric writing and music and, the recording, production and stuff like that.
And you learn with every project.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a joy. But the thing about it that's terrifying is it's just, let me get in here. It's terrifying. Our hero was frozen in fear because he had realized that he had just walked into class in only his tighty-whities. And that's how you feel when your songs come out because you're going, oh, my God, what if nobody likes me? What if nobody likes me? And it sort of reminds me of the beginning of Finding Nemo where Coral and Marlin are talking in the cave where all the eggs are, the fish eggs. And Marlin, the dad, says, I want to name them all Nemo. She goes, all of them? Well, you can name one of them Nemo, but not all of them. And he goes, I wonder if they'll like me. And she goes, well, there's over 400 eggs. Odds are one of them's bound to like you. So there's that. There's hope.
Do you find you're the hardest one to approve?
Well, I'm very critical because I'm getting better at being critical. I see into the song and the production and everything else. I hear little things that might not have ever caught my ear.
So people, you produce. It's all you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would love to call up, Dan Huff or, somebody like that or, Joey Moy or somebody to produce a record on me. And maybe someday if I bump into the money tree. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, here's the thing that's tough about this because you put out album after album and these days you really can't sell CDs anymore. No. And although I'm going to print some so that I can drop one off over here and say number 4 of 100. And
thank you.
You bet. And it's a nice thing. You can sell some souvenirs at shows, and there are people that have CD players in their cars because they're still driving a 2004 Cavalier. Right. But I'm thinking of Jamie Floyd and Sarah Darling in there.
Jan Buckingham.
Yeah. I mean,
Jamie says, I've had so many hit records that if you had as many hit records as me, you too could drive a 94 Honda Prelude or whatever, Honda Civic.
That's right. So anyway, Willie Nelson was a hit writer. I mean, he wrote Hello Walls and Crazy, but he couldn't get arrested as an artist. And label after label went broke trying to put out Willie Nelson records. Yeah. And one label did 9 in a row that were just worse. Everyone was worse than the last as far as going,
Didn't know what to do with it.
And it wasn't until he did his 18th album, The Red-Headed Stranger, that he broke through in 1975. And I thought,
whoa.
I'm doing my 18th album.
Well, yes, you
There's
are.
hope.
There's hope.
So, I have a great wood pile of cut, cured, dried firewood, and if y'all want to pick through it and find something you need, that's great. I mean, I'm getting some cuts here and there. There's a guy out of Texas named Case Harden, and he went #1 with 2 of my songs.
Great.
Very grateful to him, and he's been a guest on my show.
That's awesome.
It's fun to have your own podcast because you can talk to some of these folks.
Yes, you can.
And I'll also say this, I know we're getting way off topic, but you told me that there would come a day when people were getting a hold of you saying, hey, would you like to have so-and-so on your show? And I'm getting that now.
It's happening, isn't it?
And one of them was a publicist for a guy named Callum Kerr, Kerr. And he's an actor. He's a Scottish actor, and he's one of the stars of Virgin River on Netflix.
That show.
Yeah, the Western show.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah,
yeah, and he's the young version of somebody or other, and he's a good, rugged, good-looking guy. He's got that handsome cowboy look to him.
Yeah,
and he was offered to me as a guest, and it was just so much fun to talk to him. And Dan and David Huff produced his record.
I'll be darned.
And he was debuting on the Opry this summer. So what a great opportunity. It's exposure in both ways. So 18 albums. I don't know. You all make the decision. I hope you like it. And if that was the Osborne Brothers, I took some friends from out of town to the Opry one night. Osborne Brothers, they sing Rocky Top way up high.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to do a couple songs for you up here. We hope you like them. And if you don't, well, maybe you like one of them.
The name of the album is the songs from the Walnut Room, right?
Yeah.
And that's your studio. Walnut
It
Room?
is. It's what I call the den of 50-year-old brown paneling.
Well, I've been there, and you've got your gold record on the wall, the George Strait thing. That's awesome. And I was intimidated right away, but you made me feel so at home.
Oh, thank you. My intent with it was to go small and play small ball for the whole record.
You can't get more smaller than me.
Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean, I should have prefaced that sentence with what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I wanted to do just guitar vocal kind of thing, kind of like Guy Clark on an afternoon, after he had a big cup of coffee and wrote a brand new song and sat with Bob McDill, and they told some soul stories about some old character.
Smoke about 100 cigarettes. And
so the first song from the album, actually, a gal called me she's been in touch with me. We met at the Commodore years ago. Not years ago. Maybe 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
And real nice gal, and we talked, and it turns out she's an old soul in a young woman's, frame.
And so you guys wrote this one together.
Well, she was texting me things that she was doing on her phone. I mean, she would do a little recording of her singing a song, and she's loves performing, and so she would send me samples. And she sent me a song one night, and I said, "My gosh," her name's Mandy, and I said, "That's probably the best thing you've sent me. Wow, you've really wow." And she goes, "Well, that's actually not my song. It's a song from a guy named Bla1 Foley." And I was like, "I don't even know who that is." So while she's texting me about Bla1 Foley, I'm on the internet looking him up. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that the song, I think she sent me the song Clay Pigeons. And that's one of his well-known songs. In fact, John Prine even recorded it.
Wow.
And so by the time she was telling me about Bla1 Foley and his life, I said, hang on a second, give me 20 minutes. And I called her, or, text her back, and I said, I've got the lyric right here for the song. Can I play a little bit of it?
Sure can.
He lived like a ghost from back in the golden days. Might have never left a trace, but his songs, they still remain. They wander in my head with haunting melodies. Say what you will, but I believe I was changed somehow. he lived to drink. A young poet all full of soul pain, kept getting in his own way, kept slipping down the drain, mad at the world, and yet a beautiful soul. I heard his voice as rough as coal, and I was changed somehow. The road was the Lord for what it cost him. He crashed and burned, stumbled back to Austin. He stood up for a friend in a cold Texas wind. And that's where we lost him. Well, ain't fame a fickle friend? It lures you with a faithless heart, leaves you in a nowhere bar, sitting there like a falling star. But no life is lived in vain. One day, one summer wind, one song comes drifting in, and you're changed somehow.
Changed somehow as the song comes drifting in.
Yeah,
it does change you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did. And I told Mandy, I said, congratulations, you just helped write a song. You're a co-writer on that song.
That's awesome.
So her name is Mandy Braun, and she was San Diego at the time. Yeah, she's L.A. now. But, an old soul with a great heart. Really, really enjoy her, her gift to that. She brought me the whole thing. I mean, the last guy at the Bla1 Foley party, everybody I mentioned him to, oh, yeah, I'd known about him for a long time, But he passed away at age 39, and he was everything that apparently, from what I've learned and people have told me, that was him, the way I described him. He did a lot of drinking, and it never quite got him to where he wanted to go. And he was, one winter day, he caught a crackhead that was stealing his neighbor's mail and cashing his benefit checks, and Blaze confronted him, and the guy shot him and killed him. At 39 years old, and the guy got off on self-defense.
Are you kidding?
No. So that's sort of the sad tale, No life is lived in vain, But my favorite part of the song really is, this is straight from the Bob McDill playbook, if you will, or, from Heaven Sent Lyrics. Ain't fame a fickle friend?
It really
lures you with a faithless heart.
Yeah.
Leaves you in a nowhere bar sitting there like a fallen star.
You have a really good friend in Cincinnati, who I've known for years. But quite recently, in a late night talk with some bourbon, he told me, he grew up in England, and he told me that he was dear friends with George Harrison. And I said, how come all these years you're just now telling me that story? He goes, well,
Yeah.
I go, well, okay. And they got really close, and he said that George told him that he never wanted to be famous. He just wanted to be successful. Fame is a fickle thing. It's to the point with them. I mean, he couldn't go anywhere, do anything. He was just pretty much he was a prisoner to his fame, And I think that's why he and my buddy hit it off real well, because he just treated him like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gave him a cigarette, gave him a smoke when he needed one in a bar. And next thing they're talking. I
have a friend who is not part of the music business, never was, and he moved to town, and he was working at an outfitter's, selling kayak, mounts for people's, SUVs and things like that, bike racks and all this stuff. And this blonde lady really enjoyed his help and would always ask for him when she was in there. And finally, after she bought a whole bunch of stuff, and he said, I'm sorry, but I don't know anything about country music, but something tells me I'm supposed to know who you are. Are you somebody? And she goes, yeah, I'm Faith Hill.
No way.
He goes, I'm so sorry. She said, no, actually, I loved it that you haven't known that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, you've been nice to me no matter what.
That's something.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a listen to one of the tracks that you've produced from this new record.
Yeah.
How about this 100 Ways? Tell me about this real quick, and we'll play it going into the break.
Well, for me, it's got to be a lyric, and it's got to start with a title idea. I don't, I've done rhyme practice, as my friend Bill used to say. And we can write a good song, or we can do rhyme practice.
I try every time. I go, I want to write from an idea, not the melody. Right? It's hard. It's hard the other way around.
It is for me too.
And for me recently, there was a melody that I had stuck in my head for like must have been 4 or 5 months, and I took it to a writer's retreat. And I go, guys, say anything to you, you know? And I'll tell you, it took like 4 different co-writers to finally put it together. And I thought, never again am I doing it this way. Never.
You say.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah, for
but
me,
it's good to have the idea, so you know where you're writing to. Right?
Yeah, and the line that came to me is, "She'll never know the 100 ways she moves me."
Wow.
And I went, I can follow that down the page, just like water running down a hill. So this is what I did.
Absolutely.
And I listed a bunch of friends in the bluegrass world, and I hope you like it.
All right, let's take a listen. Jeff Dayton is our guest. This is the Songwriter Connection podcast from the new album, Songs from the Walnut Room.
She'll never know the 100 ways she moves me, like the happy inner voice each time I call. It's the perfect inner coffee and how her perfume lingers on me, and a warm hand when we're walking in the fall. It's the way she gives me all my inspiration, and she always brings my crazy down to earth. It's how she's looking at me, laying round in just her jammies, and the things that I can't wait to do to her. It's the way she doesn't judge me for my history, and she lets me love her just the way she is. And when I'm leaving, she pretends that she won't miss me, but her first kiss when I'm home, I know she did. Her looking at a sunset. It's almost like she's praying deep inside. And when I reach around to hold her, she leans into my shoulder, and she don't mind at all if I cry. Judge me for my history, and she lets me love her just the way she is. And when I'm leaving, she pretends that she won't miss me, but her first kiss when I'm home, I know she did. She wakes me in the fresh new light of morning, whispers that our best is yet to come. Then softly she leans in with a deep, slow kiss. I guess that makes 101. Yeah, softly she moves in with a deep, slow kiss. I guess that makes 101. I thank the good Lord for the 100 ways she moves me.
Jeff, that's an amazing song.
Thank you.
Man, so well written, and you write lyric, amazing.
Thank you.
The first lyric that hit me was "Brings my crazy down to earth." I love that.
You know, the thing for me, and Jason Isbell had a lot to do with this.
Love him too.
And you know, all of my heroes from years gone by, and I mentioned McDill and Guy Clark and people like that. Rodney Crowell had a lot to do with it. It's just being honest on the page, just putting the blood right there. But Isbell, you know, when he wrote "Traveling Alone," you know, and that, you know,
Cover Me Up. These things.
Man, you know, the Elephant in the Room stuff.
Elephant in the Room today. Oh my gosh.
And Sun, you know, that Southeastern album. But you know, the thing for me is that if I'm not writing anything that I'm not interested in listening to, chances are not too many others will be either. And I've done rhyme practice, and I've put it out there, and people go, yeah, what else you got?
What do you mean by rhyme practice?
Well, you know,
the second time you've said that.
One of my buddies had a cut with George Strait also, you know, and we were writing together, and I said, what do you feel like writing today, Bill? And he goes, well, we could write a good song, or we could do rhyme practice, you know.
I remember on the last podcast you said, "What are we going to rhyme with love today?"
Oh yeah, that was Alan Shamblin that said
Alan
that.
Shamblin, house that built me.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, at this point in my life, I really don't care about trying to keep up with anything. I'm just trying to continue to improve and move myself forward as a writer.
I love it.
And tell a good story. There's some pretty good stories. And this song is well, I won't say everything about it, but it's all of the things that mean something to me in a relationship. That the honesty can drive the relationship, that a woman's cool if the man cries, or it can be the other way around. I mean, whichever one needs to let the dam crack open, and just the joys of doing things together as a couple, just the warm hand when we're walking in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Yeah, it hits me in the feels. And,
me too.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And the thing about that is it's saying it. Here's the thing. Dennis Morgan, great hit writer forever. And, we called him Denny back in the old days, said that everything that could be said in the English language was said by the time of Shakespeare. Our job is to say it in new, fresh ways.
Exactly right.
He says, I said that. I said, yeah, you did.
Challenge of a songwriter.
Yeah.
Where can people find your record?
Well, there's bandcamp.com right now, and that's a really good way for the listening audience to reward the songwriter with a little, walking around money.
That's nice.
And it's $9 for the album on Bandcamp.
That's a deal today.
Well, it is. And then you have the option to pay more, and there have been some genuinely generous people who pick it up and have dropped some coin on it. But you can do that, and you get to download high-quality WAV files.
Good.
And then Spotify, Apple Music, all the rest. That's where you can go.
And your webpage?
The website is jeffdaytonmusic.com.
And it's a great site. It's got links to the podcast, everything.
Well, thanks.
So we're going to take a little break, but when we come back, I want to talk about Trop Rock, what it is and why it's so big today. And also, I want to hear about Garfunkel, Manilow, and Campbell. It's all coming up. Songwriter Connection with Jeff Dayton is our guest. I get the name out.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection with Dave Linehan. Find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Songwriter Connection Podcast. And find Dave at thedaveconnection.com. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Streaming everywhere every Wednesday, a brand new episode of Songwriter Connection and the podcast. And there's also Songwriter Connection, the Spotify playlist. Just on Spotify, just go to Songwriter Connection, the songs. And every Wednesday when we have a new guest, I put a couple of their songs out so you can listen. Just put it on, put it on shuffle and make it your workout tape.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
And how many episodes are you at now with this? Somewhere in the 200s, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, let me check it out here. This, if you're listening on the day that this came out, it should be. Things get messed up a little bit, as you know, and I've been trying to...
Roughly.
Yeah, roughly we're talking episode 244.
Wow.
And if you're listening the day it came out, it should be January 21st, depending on things fall. I try to at least number the episodes in the order that I record them. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we have to, move things around. So I hope you understand that. They get a little cattywampus, as my wife would say.
Well, and it's so much fun to watch the catalog grow. I mean, I can't imagine at 240 episodes, but for me, even with 40, yep. I'm really inspired as much as anything. And I thought about two more people. It's like, doggone, I got to get a hold of them.
Get a hold of them, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some good people.
And we're now over 3 million streams worldwide.
3 million?
Yeah, we're inching up towards 4. Number 4. We celebrated 3 million streams with a live show at the local back in December. With the guy who wrote Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Oh, my gosh.
Randy Brooks. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Well, the fun thing for you is that you've been so inclusive, and you haven't been like, no, you need to have a number one to be on my show. You have worked with up-and-comers and, the Songwriting Connection. I mean, Dave Linehan, you're well-liked.
Well, thank
That's
you.
A great vibe to have.
Thank you. People I believe in, they send me their stuff, their publicists send me their stuff. I try to listen to every little bit. I try to reply to each and every one.
Yeah.
But the ones that really hit me, as great songwriters. Yeah. Those are the ones I want to give a shot at. They deserve it.
Yeah. By the way, if you want a shot on my show, Count It Off.
Please do.
You can reach out at radiojeffro@gmail.com. Radio Jeffro.
Jeffro, I love that.
At gmail.com. Okay, there's my computer.
There you go. You know, we got to get you, our friends, have you heard Gold Pine yet?
No.
You will love them. They've been on my show maybe 3 times. They're going to do a little, coming up here, they're going to do a little of one of my takeovers. They're going to play a little half-hour set. So,
nice.
They're amazing. Husband and wife team, travel all over. They're fantastic.
How cool.
I'll hook you
My
up
grandmother's AKC kennel name was Gold Pine.
Gold Pine. No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wonderful. We'll set you up with those guys. You will love them. Can they sing? Oh, my gosh. An harmony? Crazy.
All right.
Yeah. Jeff, tell me about this whole Trop Rock scene. It's big. Where did it start for you? What can you tell us about this new subgenre of music?
Well, I didn't know it to be a subgenre. I just knew that there was tropical music. I mean, everybody knew Harry Belafonte, and you know, you think about Sam Cooke, and you think about the old stuff from Johnny Mathis, and some of the stuff that had a vibe to it. And of course, you know, Jimmy Buffett, our you know, dear departed leader of the pack and leader of the flock. And then Stephen Bishop, and you know, Artie, what was his name, Bertie Higgins. You know, Sealing away to Key Largo.
Key Largo, that's right.
Sorry, you can slap me later, my friend.
No, thank you.
But that's a terrible impression. I shouldn't do impressions. Anyway, you know, I grew up with all that stuff, you know. Yeah. One of my first songs I ever learned was Down and Away, where the nights are gay and the wind blows on the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Yeah, to say I'm going away, or Sloop John B. or any
John
of that.
B, yeah. Wow.
So it was in my blood a little bit, and I've always kind of loved the beach. You know, my dad was a beach runaway, and you know, I've spent so much time in the Hawaiian Islands, especially, but you know, in the Caribbean.
That's one thing I didn't mention. You have another side project, a Hawaiian thing going too, don't you? Yeah.
Very blessed to.
I couldn't pronounce any of the words. That's why.
Well, I'll just you leave the heavy work to me, right? I'm very blessed to have some great ohana over there, the family of people, that Ken Makokane and Tarvin Makia and Mapuana Makia and Keola Donahue invited me to be part of a group called Aeae.
Aeae.
Aeae. And it's the apostrophes. You between the vowels. Hawaiian language has only 16 letters, which makes the pronunciations a lot of fun.
Wow.
And apostrophes do a lot of the breaks in the word, like the word Hawaii. It's not Hawaii, you know.
Hawaii.
Or like ukulele, you know. I just had Jake Shimabukuro, by the way, on the show. He's the world ambassador of the ukulele.
That's right.
Yeah, and he's been, you know, touring the entire world.
And he played at the Ryman when I was working there.
Yeah, and he just played the Franklin Theater not long before we taped this.
Pretty darn amazing.
So the tropical thing for me has just been part of my blood. And then I had a song that I put out. Try to tune this. That I wrote it with Aaron Lee. His dad was Richard Lee. Richard wrote, "Don't it make your brown eyes?" Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And Aaron comes right down the bloodline of great songwriters. And he came over to the old house in Brentwood one day and he said, "I've got a great title for a song." And I said, "Good, let's do it." You know, so I said hello to a little harbor town where the sun and the boats bob up and down. Heard a song on the wind with an island sound. Man, I like 'em like that.
Yeah.
So I followed the sun into a tiki bar where the locals and the desperados start getting drunk at noon, telling stories about scars, shipwrecks, pirates, and gold. Yeah, shipwrecks, pirates, and gold. And they drank to the women and the dreams and the love gone bad, and all the buried treasure that they won back. And every night they raised their glass and sang. They sang, "Hey, it goes like it goes." Sometimes she sank, sometimes she float, but hey, you still gotta roll with the tide, roll with the night. And here's to the life of shipwrecks, pirates, and gold. So that was out.
Love it.
I had it out on one of my little records somewhere back there.
Yeah.
And I got an email from a guy named DJ Jeff, and he said, "Hey, we've got your song Shipwrecks, Pirates, and Gold, and we love it, and we're playing it on Beachfront Radio, but we were wondering if you have any more like it."
Wow.
And I was like, Maybe, but the question is, how on earth did you find me? And he said, well, we have somebody that works for us that has absolutely no life. And their job is to troll through the internet and see if they can find keywords like yours.
Wow.
And I went, oh, well, I guess I like this. And, because any radio airplay is good airplay.
Absolutely. Where is that radio at? Beachfront Radio?
They're online.
Online? Okay.
Beachfrontradio.com.
Yeah. I mean, did you know where they were out of, what part of the world?
It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, they could be out of a 4x4 somewhere in Colorado.
For me, when I was, radio all those years.
Well, I mean, you were at UBE in Cincinnati. Yeah. I mean, that's terrestrial radio. Yeah. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. A lot of Trop Rock is done through internet radio. Palapa Mac, Radio A1A.
A1A, big time.
Yeah, and I've been blessed to have, Radio Trop Rock. They're wonderful people. I've had some number ones on some of these stations.
And it leads to gigs, doesn't it? I mean, paying gigs.
I've got people that, they come to see me in Key West. It's called Trop Rock and Duval these days. It used to be Paradise in Paradise, but that organization moved it up to Gulf Shores.
Oh, wow.
Because their venue went away, and Trop Rock and Duval got started just with the smaller venues and filling it up with people who love the music and love Key West.
Wow.
So there's definitely a lot of people that enjoy that. And the first time I got invited down there was 2019 to Key West. And Radio Trop Rock and Beachfront Radio, Tiki Man Radio, all these Palapa Mac Radio, they were all down there. And they invited me to come down and do some shows. And I looked out I was at the Smokin' Tuna, and I looked out at the crowd and I went, oh my God, it's all of our people.
Wow.
It's all of us that radio just said, nah, we don't need you anymore. We're going for, the young buyers, people that are still looking for their first pickup, and so it definitely, appealed to me because the demographic was good, and they love their Jimmy Buffett. And man, there's some people down there that know every song Jimmy Buffett ever did, and they not only that, but they sound like him or they look like him or both. And so that's a whole thing, for that, and now I'm getting invites to do house concerts and things like that and play some of the festivals.
Those are my favorites.
They really are. And I love sitting in a room with people. I mean, if you had, 30 people over in your beautiful other room here and Patty would put up with us, it would be fun to just play songs for folks. And that's really what my mom taught me is that, I was her circus monkey. She trot me out at her dinner parties and I'd sing for folks. But I love, but see, here's the thing about that inspired me too, is that I did my share of writing, rhyming fish with palm tree, and you sort of run out of the images after a minute. And it's true. But what is not everybody's cup of tea is that you can write songs that fit that genre that are brand new topics that I'll bet nobody else has ever done. And if you think about Jimmy Buffett's catalog for inspiration, I did a deep dive into Jimmy's stuff during COVID and all the years since.
Clever stuff.
Oh, my gosh.
Weather's here, wish you were beautiful. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oldest surfer on the beach. These deep album cuts. There's one called Death of an Unpopular Poet. If he can write a song like that, there's hope for me. And I take hope from stuff like that. 2 secs on the end of the song called. Hemingway lived on the island, this is Key West.
Oh, yeah.
He spent his days fishing for marlin. It's actually not a waltz.
It's not a waltz.
If he wasn't... Oh, maybe it is.
It sounded good as a waltz.
Maybe it is. If he wasn't out trolling the bank reef, he was up on his porch drinking daiquiris.
Love the rhymes.
He didn't much care for emotion, but he had a heart for the ocean and the four-legged feline, six-toed strays that wandered all over his place. He held them and cared for them all of their lives. He named them for people he'd known or he liked. May each one of us be as lucky as that to be loved like Hemingway's cats.
I love it.
That's on the album, what is it? Welcome to Ocean Country.
Oh, Ocean Country. That is a cool. I did my one trip to Key West. We had to go visit that house, and those cats are still there. Mm-hmm. All those 6-toed cats. There must be 100 of them. They're everywhere.
There was a white one that was given to him by a Colonel somebody or other, and so Hemingway named that cat Colonel, the Colonel.
The Colonel.
And that he would name his cats for people that he knew and he liked. I mean, it's so much fun to find a new topic and stake a tent on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have another song called Circling the Moon about a book that I read when I was 5 years old. Called You Will Go. Yeah, You Will Go to the Moon.
Can you hear a little bit of that?
Sure.
You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't.
I'm putting you on the spot, I know.
Let's see.
Beautiful.
I read a book about going to the moon way back when I was 5. It said someday you'll wear a spacesuit, jump up 40 feet high. You ride around in 6-wheeled cars and live on astronaut food. Stand on a mountain looking at Mars with the Earth coming into view. And every night with that book next to me, I'd close my eyes and there I'd be, circling the moon, far, far away. Sun shining on my helmet in a beautiful new place. Anything is possible, any dream can come true. Deep down deep, I believe I was circling the moon.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's some writing, man.
Thank you.
That is some writing.
Thank you.
Hey, tell me about Garfunkel, Manilow, and Campbell.
Yes.
That's an interesting thing.
Well, I have 2 friends that I've known for a long time, but I didn't know they knew each other. Mm-hmm. Eddie Kilgallen, the band leader from Montgomery Gentry, he wrote One Night at a Time with Roger Cook for George Strait, #1 for 5 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, life-changing money. And Tab Lavin, who plays guitar for Art Garfunkel, and he's been with Art for 25 years now. Mm-hmm. And I was playing the Commodore here in Nashville, which we probably mention on your show quite a bit. Commodore. That's where I met you the first time, I think.
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's a great writer's room, and Debbie Champion just needs to be cheered for loud and long because she's such a giving woman, and she's as sweet as they come. Anyway,
it really is.
I had just played there, and I was sitting with some folks because I like to go visit, Mm-hmm. Me and a microphone.
Imagine that.
We talk. Yeah. And this guy walks up saying, "Hi, Jeff, I'm Tab Lavin." And I said, "Oh, my God, I haven't seen you in a long time." And so we stood up, we're hugging and talking, and he said, "I've been talking with Eddie Kay about putting a duo together." And we pitched the idea to some people, and they said, "Get a third person and you've got something."
Wow.
And both of them said, "Get Jeff." And so each of us represent our artist. I represent Glen Campbell because I was his band leader and sing his songs all the time. Mm-hmm. And Tab doing the Simon and Garfunkel stuff, and Eddie doing Barry Manilow. Like nobody's business. You should hear him do Barry Manilow. And we have our stories, and we talk about his George Strait cut and the fact that he was a founding member of the band Ricochet, which was, Dad is money.
Mom's good looks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Eddie's been a guest on the show. Look him up. Mm. And so we started rehearsing.
On your podcast, yes.
Yes, on my show. And so about a year ago, we started getting together and rehearsing and talking about a set list and all this stuff. And last Christmas time, we went into Dark Horse down in Franklin. Great studio. Robin owns that, and I think he's still got it. And recorded our cuts. And then my neighbor friend, Josh Diddy, came over. He worked for Joey Moy and Jeff Balding and Big Loud. And he's been just incredible engineer. In fact, he engineered that bluegrass track you had.
We just played
he did the mix on that for me. Mm-hmm. And we went over to a great LED soundstage called View Nashville on the west side and shot our video. And it just got incredible results. We have a friend who's helped us do that, but Yeah, and we made our debut at the Dakota Jazz Room in Minneapolis last February, sold it out.
Wow.
And we have sold out every place we've played. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're coming up on Boca Grande, Florida on next Tuesday night, which will be long gone and over with. So call me and ask me how it went.
Yeah, I will.
But we're sold out there too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, and we love it because we get to do these songs. I mean, for me, to not have to sing every song for a show for 4 or 5 hours is a real delight. Mm-hmm. And the fact that harmony on Simon & Garfunkel, Lord.
I'll bet.
No, but I've never been in a band that wanted to cover that stuff because you got to have two singers.
You got to let me know when you're playing around here.
Well, we'll be at the Franklin Theater in August of 26.
Good.
Yep. And we'll be in Murfreesboro for a benefit for the Senior Center.
Wow.
That'll be in the middle, St. Patty's, in fact.
Okay, watch for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be details out there.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you in closing.
Yeah.
I know you're a heck of a guitar player. I've watched and have seen you, and you have to be playing with the level of people, Kenny Chesney and Lee Greenwood. But to be the band leader for Glen Campbell for all those years, who is probably one of the best guitar players, in our generation.
Ever, yeah.
How intimidating was that? I mean, the band leader is the guy. Explain what that is, you've got to have some stories, I'm telling you.
Well, there are some stories, and one of my episodes of my podcast is me and Glenn, just talking about the days. Glenn found me, and he saw my band play in front of Alabama, the Judds and Merle Haggard, and then the next night we were at a golf event with Jack Nicklaus, and Glenn happened to be there and sat in with us, and 3 days later he called me and he said, I'd love you to be my new band, and you're my band leader. And it just got started that way. So I was really full of ambition, a lot like he is, or was, rather. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really take time to consider being scared or being intimidated, although he could play circles around the best guys on their best days. And he could do that after 18 holes of golf.
Yeah.
But he was so down home, corny, fun, country, knucklehead kind of stuff, and with a huge heart for great lyrics. And I think his guidance, one time, and I might have said this before on the episode that we did a year and a half ago, was he said, don't tell me what you think, tell me what you want.
Yeah.
And it's that rub, we talked about that day. I do remember talking about that.
That's interesting.
That rub, as a songwriter, if you can create the rub and the listener's going, what are they going to do this week, Mama? Is he going to fall from that skinny branch way up on the tree? Or, you just don't know worth it yet. Mm-hmm. And the Circling the Moon has a rub later on. It has a twist to it, a big twist.
Twists are important in a song.
Oh, yeah. And it's not a twist like, oh, that's corny, like, oh, it's really about a fish and not about a dog, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's something that you reward the listener by sticking around. Gotcha. And Glenn showed me that in so many songs. And he'd be on the airplane. He'd have me come up to sit in an empty seat in first class next to him and put his headphones on me. He'd say, listen to this song. And he'd have a cassette player in his lap, playing me songs that he had gotten in. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? And Jimmy Webb songs, and the aching, unrequited love that Jimmy put. And there's must be the same woman in every dang song he's ever written, because he never got it right with her,
Yeah.
We almost had it, didn't we? All those things that he wrote.
I saw an interesting article about Wichita lineman where Glenn had called him and said, listen, we need another town or whatever, place to write about. So he started writing Wichita Lineman based on that fact that he was driving down this Texas road, and there's this straight road, and there's all these telephone lines, and he imagined what the guy would be that would work on those lines. And he sent a verse and a chorus to Glenn, and never heard anything. Anyway, I probably didn't like it. Well, next time he talked to me, he said, did you get that song? He goes, oh yeah, we recorded it. He goes, well, it wasn't finished.
Isn't that a great story?
Good enough.
That's a great story. I heard that from Jimmy and Glenn.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well,
and actually, it was just 2 verses. Because if you look at it, that's I'm a lineman for the county. I think I need a long vacation. I mean, they're the identical sections, but the fact that they end with Wichita lineman is sort of the wrap up. And Glenn, to his credit, from all those 5-7 years of playing in the Wrecking Crew, knew what a hit song was, because that's what they did 5 days a week, was they built hit songs for America. Right. So he saw it happen in front of him, and he was a quick study. He really was.
Wow.
So it was great. I mean,
Yeah,
Glen
it was.
Campbell's days, I loved it. I'm so grateful to him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how about one more song before we take it out?
Sure. Do you want
Thank
to
for your
play
grace.
something off the record, maybe?
I'd rather hear you play it live around the dining room table. Not to put you on the spot. But
Okay.
to put you on the spot.
Okay. I don't know this.
It's like people are going, I'm just saying. I don't, I'm just saying. I go, well, okay, then just say it. Just play it.
Like Glenn said to Jimmy, well, just write one.
Just write one.
I'm getting tired of getting kicked around. Out in the rain in this lonely town. Been so long since I had a friend. Maybe, baby, you could take me in. I've got a heart like a dog, just wants to be loved. A little affection is more than enough. You're gonna love it when we cuddle up. I've got a heart like a dog. I've got a heart like a dog. I'll take you on long walks whenever you like. Keep your feet warm on the coldest of nights. Wake you up early with a good morning kiss. And bring you your socks all covered with spit. I've got a heart like a dog, just wants to be loved. A little affection is more than enough. You're gonna love it when we cuddle up. I've got a heart like a dog. I've got a heart like a dog. I hope you don't mind when I beg. I hope you really like it when I hug your leg. You'll never have to worry how much I drink. You're gonna be proud when you hear me sing. Ah, ooh. Woo. Good boy. Ah, ooh. Yeah, I've got a heart like a dog. I've got a heart like a dog. I've got a heart like a dog.
Did you even realize that you had a cat song and a dog song on this one podcast? That's awesome.
Good boy.
Jeff Dayton, our guest, the new record, Songs from the Walnut Room, streaming everywhere right now.
Right.
Check it out, folks. And Jeff, continued success with your podcast.
Dave, thank you so much.
All
man.
the great stuff you're doing, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you
You're
so
a great host. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Right on, folks. WRITE.
We hope you enjoyed this intimate glimpse into the world of songwriting and found inspiration in the stories shared by our talented guests. Remember, the magic of music lies not only in the notes and chords, but in the emotions and experiences woven into every lyric. Until next time, keep listening, keep creating, and keep the melodies alive.